Hello, this is MetalLife444 here, and welcome to another video. Now, this is going to be my review of The Flash Season 2, Episode 23, also known as The Race of His Life. Now, this episode was a good episode. Now, you've noticed I'm going to change things up with my videos now, because I want to make them a bit more actual reviewy. So I'm going to do a sort of review at the start, and then we'll go for the breakdown with all the Easter eggs in and stuff like that. So, this episode was alright. There were some bits that I enjoyed. I enjoyed quite a lot of it. It got slightly boring. Well, not boring, but I'm going to say it's anticlimactic in a way, because I mean, like, all it was a race, essentially. There wasn't like a big climactic fight, which I was expecting. I mean, it was still pretty good, but the conclusion wasn't really Barry defeating Zoom, if you know what I mean. So that it was a bit lacking in that way. I feel like they could have really explored more with the sort of Barry and Zoom conflict instead of resolving it the way they did. And had Barry to do more with Zoom's downfall, because Barry sort of he didn't really compete much. But other than that, the rest of the episode was really good. Like the way that Barry distracts Zoom, obviously that's the character arc for him over the whole episode was about the time remnant as Zoom brought up in the beginning of the episode. I mean, the fact some of the things that happened in the episode made sense, and well, all of the things made sense, and I think this has sort of answered a lot of the questions that people have. But boy, did it ask a lot more, and it's really good. It's really annoying the fact that we have to now wait, like, what is it, like 4 months, 5 months, until we get the answers to the questions that have now been awoken by this episode. It's done a very good job of keeping us hooked, like the end of season 1 did with the wormhole. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, we start off with, obviously, Barry's dad dying. Now, interestingly, I think he might die in the same place as Barry's mum. Now, Zoom creates a time remnant of himself again, and Barry absolutely destroys one of the Zooms. Like, he absolutely messes him up. It was a really good fight for Barry to have. Like, he absolutely messed up Zoom. You could see the anger on his face. But the fact that Zoom used a time remnant sort of made sure that the fight didn't really matter. And this was sort of the root of Barry's sort of like growth towards the final fight. Barry obviously wants to kill Zoom after what he did to his father, and Zoom wants to use his energy to blow up Earth 2 and all the other Earths. Now, this is from Crisis on Infinite Earths, pretty much. And I'm going to do a separate video on this and another part of this episode after this one, just to sort of split it up, because I want to keep the main episode separate from those sort of explainer videos, because I can go on for a long time about Crisis and the other bit. Now, as we see Barry being locked up by Joe, I'm not sure if this has been there the whole season, but I've been looking a lot more for Easter eggs lately, and I saw that 52 were on the walls. And that's obviously a link to, 52 is sort of DC's number. Obviously, the new 52. There was 52 Earths in the series, not 52 Earths. Sorry, there were 52 Earths before, but there were 52 breaches in between the two worlds. Now, there's an intervention, and he can't race Zoom, basically, so they've locked up Barry, because otherwise he's going to go and race Zoom and end up destroying all the worlds, because he'll lose. Now, Jesse's going home, we find out, which means that there's not going to be a speedster in Flash Season 2, unless we get Wally. Obviously, Wally is the only other way to get it now, because Jesse's leaving as well, who looked like might get speed, so she might take over as the Flash on Earth 2, which I'm going to say interesting to see, but obviously we probably wouldn't see that. Now, Joe and Zoom get sent to Earth 2 using a hologram of Caitlin, which obviously we've seen being used before with Barry. Wally releases Barry because, he's a nice guy, and he now accepts what the good things that Barry's done, and he's becoming a bit of a nicer guy, because at the beginning of the series he wasn't that nice, and I didn't really relate to the character very much, didn't like him very much, and a lot of people were angry about the fact that this guy could become Kid Flash, but I think he's becoming a much nicer guy now that he knows Barry's the Flash and all of this stuff. Now we find out that the man in the mask is Jay Garrick, as many people have predicted. He is from Earth 3, maybe? Or Earth... Well, he's from another Earth. He's not from Earth 1 or 2. Now, Supergirl is also from Earth 3, but she might be from Earth 4 or 5, I don't know. It's a weird numbering system. Now, Zoom says a flash from two worlds, which is obviously a reference to the comic of the same name, where Jay Garrick and Barry link up in a comic together. Cisco vibes with Barry to tell Zoom that he's willing to race. And now, Earth Prime is something that I'm going to bring up in the second video, but that's something that Zoom mentions. Now, that's the thing that I'll bring up in the video that I'm going to make about Crisis and the other thing, but yeah. Okay, now Barry creates a time remnant, and the time remnant counteracts the machine while Barry distracts Zoom while fighting him. He also, this is also, the guy he dissolves the Flash. That's very similar to how the Flash dies, taking down the Anti-Monitor's machine, which is built to do the same thing, destroy all the worlds. Now, I don't know very much about the Anti-Monitor's scheme and how they're going to destroy the multiverse, but what I do know about is Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is a comic, which is the Justice League comic, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm not going to be talking about the Anti-Monitor's plan, because I don't know very much about that. So the Flash beats up Zoom, and then Zoom becomes the Black Flash? Maybe? Which means, obviously, they're keeping him alive for a future season, so we could see Zoom come back as the Black Flash, who is sort of like Death in the Speed Force, I believe, is what it is. Like, he follows Speed, and if they do something wrong, they kill him. Now we find out, as many people have predicted, that Henry Allen is Jay Garrick, and Harry and Jesse go home as well. Now, Jay Garrick is also going to his own planet, so he's also not going to be in Season 2, so we're still sticking with only one speedster. People predicted that Jay Garrick would stay around, but apparently not. He's going to go back and protect his world. Now, I could feel the tension building at the end of this scene, like something was going to happen. We still have 5 minutes to go, and Barry was just sort of sitting on a doorstep, and you're like, what's going to happen? Something big's going to happen. What's it going to be? And then it hits. Barry stops his mother's death, which is a terrible decision. What is he doing with his life? Honestly, Barry, what are you doing, mate? Like, literally, these are my notes. Why? Oh my god, idiots. Now, this is obviously going to lead into the Flashpoint paradox, which I've talked about before, funnily enough. I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if that's a coincidence that I brought it up before, and it's actually happened on the show now. But that's quite cool that I've sort of, I'm gonna call it, I predicted it. I didn't actually, but it's pretty cool to see that in the show. I'm gonna say it's pretty cool to see in the show, or it is gonna be pretty cool to see it in the show if they go the route. But with a lot of characters missing, it's gonna be quite hard to do, as I'll explain in my next video where I break down Crisis and Flashpoint. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I really enjoyed the episode of The Flash, and I really can't wait for next season. In the next 5 months, I'm not sure what videos I'll be doing. I'll find something to do. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode. I'll see you next time.